Much has been said about how the arrival of Leo Messi in the matter of days has impacted Inter Miami, as well as the perception of soccer in the United States by fans. But the influence of the magical Argentine is actually much bigger. He has already changed and continues to change the MLS and football as a game in America. And this is not an exaggeration, but the truth of life. In this video, we will prove it to you. So sit back, like this video, and let's get started. It all started at the time of the Argentine's invitation to Inter. The fact is that some MLS clubs have synthetic grass in their home stadiums. As you know, such a turf increases the risk of injury. Playing on artificial grass causes different loads on the muscles, which in turn increases the risk of injury. Not only Inter, but the entire league is interested in keeping Leo healthy. Messi's presence will generate revenue for each host team. So if the Argentine gets injured because of the artificial turf, it'll be a real failure for MLS.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
Currently, 6 league clubs have stadiums with artificial grass. These are Seattle Sounders, Portland Timbers, New England Revolution, Vancouver Whitecaps, Atlanta United, and Charlotte FC. And Leo will have to play against the latter two this season. The Daily Mirror reported that Messi himself is concerned about this issue, but even without the player's wish, something would have to be done about it. Therefore, the matter was brought up for discussion by the MLS management. MLS promotes a lot of international games, and we have been able to bring natural grass into those stadiums, but we've never done that for a regular season game. My expectations are that that's what they will do, but there is a lot of work that needs to be done to figure all of that out. MLS Commissioner Don Garber said to The Athletic. That is, for the first time in history, the clubs can replace their artificial turf for regular league games. Although at the moment, both Charlotte FC and Atlanta have refused to do so. Here's what Atlanta President and CEO Garth Lagerwey had to say. You can ask Martino. He is familiar with the quality of our turf. He can explain to his players how good and safe it is to play at our stadium. Well, the principles are nice for sure, but what will the fans say to the club's management when Leo simply won't come to the game because of the artificial grass? By playing on turf, I risk getting damaged. I could get injured also in normal games, but the risk is higher on the turf. And I tried to play on the turf in Portland, and I felt very bad, Zlatan Ibrahimovic once said. Given that replacing the turf will not only allow fans to see Leo Messi live, it'll also have a positive impact on the player's health. Therefore, we expect that most clubs, if not all, will opt for replacing the turf with natural grass. After all, positive changes have always met strong resistance in history. Did it stop the progress? Of course not. It's no secret that Leo was invited to MLS to raise the interest of the global football community in this competition, and not to win lots of trophies for Inter. This is confirmed by the fact that all MLS clubs, not just Miami, have been involved in bringing Messi to the United States. The first benefit they will receive is huge attention to the league. This means an increase in audience and, as a result, an increase in revenue. The second benefit is reputational, which will make it much easier for clubs to convince star players to join them. Indeed, if Leo Messi himself plays in the MLS, why would anyone refuse an opportunity to play on the pitches of America? But let's get back to the first point. Leo's arrival means that now games with Messi's involvement will be watched around the world. And there is a problem here. The fact is that when it's evening in the US and games are being played, it is already night in Europe. And the European audience is a very rich audience that MLS bosses would like to engage in watching MLS games. So, at the exact same meeting where the proposal to replace artificial turf with natural grass was considered, the possibility of showing MLS games at a bit earlier time was also raised. At least, this was hinted by Don Garber. Although it's worth noting that changes in the kickoff time are only possible starting from the next season. Nevertheless, it was Leo's arrival that gave this idea a boost. Now this is really serious. For a long time, MLS has been operating under severe financial restrictions. These did not allow the league to grow and be competitive even in its own region, not to mention Europe. Interestingly, the last time there was a global change in MLS, David Beckham was involved. It was for the sake of inviting the Englishman to LA Galaxy in 2007 that the league introduced the concept of a designated player. This is the rule that now allows each MLS club to invite 3 players with salaries outside the salary cap. It gave the league a huge boost back then. Remember how after Becks arrived, other superstars started coming to MLS, the likes of Henry, Pirlo, Lampard, Villa, Gerrard, Kaká, and many others. You have to admit that it was the first time we started getting interested in MLS, and from time to time we would look at how the stars were doing there. However, quite a long time has passed, and since then the league seems to have stagnated. And now David Beckham has awakened it again by signing Messi. The owners of MLS clubs immediately saw the effect that Leo had. Americans are the best in the world at counting money, so the numbers that Messi generated made a lasting impression on these gentlemen. That's why, at a recent meeting in Washington, D.C., club owners began to actively discuss how to change their regulations for the sake of MLS prosperity and increased profits. First problem: Messi is one of a kind. It's not possible for each club to invite Lionel to start generating numbers for everyone at the same time. The Argentine is not only a football, but also a media phenomenon. And the problem with the 3 designated players rule is that it puts too much on these players' shoulders. So what if they don't perform or get injured? It immediately makes the club non-competitive. So the club owners want to change this rule and be able to distribute these funds more evenly across the entire squad. Evolution is inevitable and change is likely. We all want this to be an elite league. We all want it to grow. Inter Miami owner Jorge Mas said, "Club owners believe that improving the teams and players around Messi is critical to maximizing his impact in the league." This makes sense. After all, watching Messi single-handedly destroy every opponent will get boring very quickly. No one is interested in watching a league of one team. Isn't that true, Liga 1 fans? Yes, I would like less roster restrictions so we could spend more money, Charlotte FC owner David Tapper said. Chicago Fire owner Joe Mansueto saw this problem a long time ago and stated the following last year: "I would love to see the rules more decentralized, so owners could choose how to allocate the spend across their roster." These words make it clear that the changes to the regulations are essential primarily for teams without superstars. After all, many clubs would opt to distribute funds to buy 10 mid-level players from top European leagues. And these will make them much more competitive than inviting 3 top-tier players with gigantic salaries. Inter Miami faced a different problem. To maximize the effect of Messi, he needs to be surrounded by high-level teammates. And what do we have? A lot of players want to join Leo in Miami, but the 3 designated player rule ruins everything. Inter signed Leo, Busquets, and Alba, and there is nothing else that can be done. Although players like Di Maria, Suarez, Ramos, Iniesta, and others would easily agree to join and strengthen the club. In addition, clubs face reputational losses because of this rule. For example, in order to sign Leo, Inter terminated the contract with one of their designated players, the Mexican Rodolfo Pizarro. So, Leo's arrival woke up the MLS bosses, who started pushing for changes to the regulations. And it's the right thing to do. Eliminating the 3DP rule is only the first step. As league revenues continue to grow, you are going to see more investment in players. I'm confident that the outcome of the work will be positive. Inter owner Jorge Mas shares his positive predictions. That's how Leo Messi grabbed MLS by the collar in just a couple of weeks and pushed the league into a bright, prosperous future. Imagine how much further he's gonna change. Friends, write in the comments how you rate the Argentine's impact on MLS and what else should be changed in this competition so that it can compete with the European top leagues. Football Club, a channel of quality football journalism, was with you. Watch other videos on Messi and Inter Miami among the suggested ones, and take care. Bye bye.